So then I showed this on the last video. I bought this 01 Tacoma because I thought it would be fun, since my older son bought this and he's been working on it, put a winch on there and some lights and did a bunch of maintenance on it. So I figured since he bought that, and then my younger son Caleb was wanting to jump on the bandwagon, so he bought this. Another 4Runner. So now we've all got Toyotas and we are going to use them to go have fun up in the woods. So yeah, kind of like our version of quads. So on this one, I've been doing some fixing maintenance. Just put a Badlands winch on there. I fixed the hood latch so I can get rid of these stupid pins that were on here. Put some blinkers on here. Had to put a whole e-brake system on here. Cleaned up the interior. Probably show some snippets of that because it was really nasty. It would smell like dog. But yeah, that's where we're at. This should be fun, where all three of us can go out and have fun, and they're Toyotas. They're reliable, hopefully. So this thing had jacked up e-brake cables. This is the one I pulled out. I cut it because I was tired of figuring out how to unhook it. And then I figured if I cut it, I could take this whole handle assembly out and figure out how it works. So most people say you can do it without taking it out, and I just couldn't picture what they're talking about. So by taking this thing all the way out, I was able to figure out what they're talking about as far as how to change this cable. So if you want to take it all the way out, it's these two bolts up here. They're like right up in the dash right there. And then there's a through bolt from inside that goes through the firewall, and then on the engine side there's a stud with a nut that you have to get, both 12 mils. So what they're saying to do is you want to take a 12 mil and pop this off. That's the e-brake switch. What that does is it gives this room to go all the way back up there, which is what you need, because if you hit this right here, right about there, it doesn't go out far enough for the cable to disengage. When I talk about the cable disengaging, I'm talking about this right here. So it's basically like a bike cable, you know, like that right there. It has to slide into that spot right there. So what you do is, now you can do this with this e-brake actually in the vehicle. Now that I've done this, you pop out this pin right here, pull this pulley out, so you get that out of the way. You unhook this, and then what you do is, I'm trying to do this with one hand. If you close this up all the way, hold on. Okay, I can't do it with the new cable in there, and I don't want to jack this up. So if you push this in all the way, it comes up a little short. So what people were talking about doing is holding these ratcheting things down. I found that I only needed to do one. So when I did the ratchet, I was able to push this all the way against this, which lets this extend right into this end just enough to where you can pop that out. So that's the deal. But I guarantee if you're doing it underneath the vehicle, it's still pretty hard to see that. And you'd see it from under here, but it'd be tight. For me, it's just easier to pull this whole thing out, set it up. So now that I got this cable done, I just got to feed it through the spot in the firewall and then do the stuff underneath. But as far as the upper part right here, this should be all done, and I should be able to bolt this back up to the spot that it goes. Here's the carpet. Doesn't look horrible for the most part. It's the hair, the dog hair. Hoping that that can get vacuumed up. I'm gonna give it a try. I was scrubbing the carpet and it was not helping. It did come a little bit cleaner, but that pet smell is not going away. So I pulled the carpet. Now I'm gonna clean this floor up a little bit, and then I got some good used carpet to put in here. So here we are, kind of finished. I put the new carpet in. It's kind of dirty right now. And I put some floor mats. But from when I first got it, this is way cleaner. I got this down because I have to do ignition switch. But this is it. Just got the windows tinted. That's why there's a sticker over there still. I got this cool deal right here. Mounted up. This is going to be for the iPad, for the probably like Onyx software for trails. And got a CD all hooked up, wired in, ready to go. And threw an extra scan gauge in there just because I had it. Had to put my patches in there. And yeah, so this is it, kind of all buttoned up for now. So I think now the only thing we need to do to go wheeling is I'll finish my ignition switch, and then I'll do a little bit of trimming. Right here. I gotta trim that up a little bit. But other than that, she's basically ready to go. over here, my friends, last time I drove it, it was leaking. It was leaking fluid still. I still had a little puddle going down my garage floor. So I decided I needed to flush out all that crap that I put in there for getting rid of the rust. So I took the radiator out and I started the flushing process. Radiator's pretty clean, but I gotta be careful because I can't just take my car and put it in the yard out there and do a flush into the grass like what I would do if I had a lawn. So instead, I am trying to flush and catch as much stuff as I can in the bin, and the stuff that doesn't make it, I got these absorbent noodles to try to catch it before it goes out into the driveway and down the road, and then the EPA gets called on me. So what I'm doing is I pulled the thermostat out, and so I'm just sticking the hose on this end, and then it's hopefully flushing stuff out the bottom end, and it keeps on leaking like right here when I was driving it. So, and that I can't get this clamp any physically tighter, so I'm gonna pull this off and try to flush the heater core out before I call it good. So I feel like the flushing process is almost all done. And then for sealing it back up, I was thinking I was gonna try these things. These grip clamps. They're hose clamps, but you use heat on them instead of metal worm gear clamps. So I didn't go crazy buying it. I bought what I thought I measured so that I could test fit a couple of these because they have a pretty good range on them. So once I figure out which ones are the right ones that work, I'm gonna go ahead and buy an extra set of those. But I'm gonna give those a try because I feel like they're gonna make it look a lot cleaner in here. And I don't know, just clean it up in the engine bay. I like having everything nice and neat and clean, so I'll finish up with those and show you how those work. Of course, everybody probably knows how those work. You just put them on there and heat gun them on, and they're supposed to clamp super tight. And then when the heat of the engine's going, it's supposed to, you know, the heat's clamp it even tighter. So I'm hoping that'll be the fix to my stupid coolant leaks. And then plus I'm getting rid of that chemical stuff that was in there to get rid of the rust. So maybe that stuff was real slick. I'm hoping that it never leaked before, ever, before I put that stuff in there. And so I'm hoping once I get that stuff out of there, it'll stop leaking again. But yeah, I got more of those little tubey deals down there. So yeah, that's where I'm at on this. And then once I get the cooling system all cleaned up and hopefully not leak anymore, I can call this good. And it's still totally drivable. I can either drive it or I can start on another project because I've always got parts around here for stuff to do on this. So that's where I'm at on this.